Hey Belinda, all right, here's your spread, and what we're going to do is we're going to see when you were in this life, where we were, um, what you did for the majority of your time, two important days, a death, and a lesson. So let's see what's going on here. So like first we have this card, the Nomad card. It indicates basically when someone doesn't have a home base, or if the place that they used to live no longer exists today. It's like not on a map anymore. And so what I'm getting is that this card indicates that you were you didn't have a home base, and I'm getting the sense of like traveling from place to place to place. And you're traveling, it's like you're crossing long, vast valleys in order to get to your next destination where you set up shop and do something. And then you leave and you go again, and you take these roads over and over again, but not like every year. It's just that you see these roads a lot, but you don't have a home base. Okay, so the occupation card, what you do with the majority of your time, this is the food industry. So you're in the food industry, you're traveling around. I'm just saying, hey, fill me in here. Let's see, I'm trying to see something here. And what I'm getting is that it feels like you're an entrepreneur. So I feel like there's something that you invented that has to do with like eating. I don't know if it's a food or if it's a certain utensil that became popular and widespread. And I want to say that you're actually going from place to place trying to sell this utensil, or this it's it's a utensil. It's not so modern though. It's so I want to say appliance, but not even appliance. Almost like a new material to use to build the ovens that they had. Something like that. So it's kind of interesting that almost like they used brick ovens for something, and then you come along and you're like, hey, you don't have to use this brick or this, or maybe it was clay, but you can use this, and this will last longer, and this will be better. And so it's almost like you're a salesman for this device that you've created, you've come up with. So there's a lot of like creativity involved, and then there's a lot of traveling that you're doing, because you're just not settling down, because this is like your chosen life path. Is you're like, I am going to show this to the world, I'm going to revolutionize something with this thing that I've made. So that's what you decide to do. So you're not settled down. I don't see you, and I do see a man. I see, okay, what there is a man. He has like ponytail or a braid in back, black hair, and it's like very Asian-esque. So keep that in mind in case maybe you have an affinity for, the culture or the art or music over in Asian countries. But they're showing me that you cross over and you go through all these. It's a very like Asian theme. Even like architecture, everything is Asian themed. The landscape certainly. And so keep that in mind, because your job is to make the connections between this life and the one you're living. Alright, so anyway, so they're showing me that's how you lived. So on this day, what they're showing me here is a birth, and these cards aren't face value, so it doesn't mean a birth of your child, or you're giving birth or whatever it is. We're going to see what it is. This is the family card, which would make sense to go with birth, and the feeling of neutrality. What's happening here? What is happening here? I feel like you're having an aha day. This is like an aha day for you, and it's interesting because it doesn't go with the feelings of being a traveler for the rest of your life. You feel like you're going to be traveling, doing this the rest of your life, and on this day, I feel like what happened is you actually witnessed a birth in the streets. You witnessed a quick birth happening in the streets, and the person that was giving birth was surrounded by her family, and you were amongst the crowd that was kind of ringing the outside watching this, because it was a last minute thing, like there's no time to get her anywhere, and you're watching this happen, and your feelings about it, even though this is the neutrality card, it's almost like it flips your neutrality, because before you were like, I'm not going to have a family, I don't need that, there's nothing special about that. But then there's something that clicked when you saw there's like forms of love exchanged in the streets here when this birth was happening, and you're watching it and something clicks inside of you that switches the neutral button off, and suddenly there's a yearning that you feel. So keep that in mind with your, connecting to your current life too, whether that's a personality thing that you've noticed or a theme in your life where you're going along and one day you just see something and it just hits you and you feel a change occur. That if that's your way, that could be because this made such a big impact. Or maybe you're waiting for something to hit you to make a decision. Like, let's say you're making a choice in your life having to do with a relationship going on, and you're waiting for this moment to just click. You're like waiting and waiting because the moment here was so amazing that your soul remembers it. It's like a soul memory. And that could be the case if you're in that predicament right now of waiting for a sign, waiting for a special day, waiting, then that day that you're searching for or waiting for might not come because you've already witnessed it here and you're just feeling that memory basically. So just keep that in mind. The second important day, we're seeing a death, we're seeing a child involved, and immense sorrow. So we're going from this day of pure positivity and joy and a birth to seeing the death with a child involved. What is happening here? The death of a child, jeez. I want to say it's your child that died. I want to say this day changed you to where you actually settled down and had a family. Oh, no, that's not your child. Okay, sorry. It's like a little mild correction there in my mind. It's the child is representative of your dream. This child card I pulled represents the dream you had to revolutionize the world with this thing that you created. And on this day, it's like you did settle down and you had a family and you had a day of realizing that your dream was not going to be what you thought it would be. It's not, this dream died. And there was like a grieving, mourning feeling to it where you laid it to rest. So it's an odd kind of bittersweet feeling right now. It's that bittersweet feeling of like you're giving up this dream for that dream. But there is a lot of sorrow attached to this. So in your current life, if there's something going on where you are having to compromise or give up something that's important to you and say like you have to put it to the side and can't spend time doting on it or with it, such as like maybe it's like writing a book and you put it aside because you need to take care of a relationship or someone is taking your time away from that or whatever it is. Maybe you're working two jobs, I don't know, but if there's something going on right now where you feel like you're compromising something or you'd rather be paying attention or spending your energy on something and it's not happening, I would definitely say to really try to make it happen in some sense. Like try to pull that thing that you want to do back into your life, even if it's spending 5 minutes on it a day, if you can manage that, whatever it is. So if that speaks to you, just keep that in mind when you make connections. All right, so the death card, here is the water card. So this can mean a few things. It can mean drowning. It can mean what are those things called? Typhoon or a tsunami or something like that. So let's see. I'm just saying, fill me in here. What's going on? Water. Okay, so where the water comes into play is really interesting because basically I see you actually grew old. You got to a nice older, not old, but older age, because back in the day, back in this time period, old meant something different. But basically you're asking for that last drink of water. Some people, right before they die, they ask for water, they get really thirsty. And that's like, that's a common thing, and that's what they're showing. That's what I'm seeing right now is like you're asking for water. It's almost like maybe you're also sick or something because you look kind of frail. Maybe you're just older than I'm thinking. But I'm seeing that's where water comes into play because that's how the family remembers you. Like for a while, is asking for that last bit of water. It's really interesting. But otherwise, the death seems kind of like it's not traumatic or it's not, a disease or anything. It's just, you're just kind of done. I don't know how else to put it. That's all I'm saying. And then the card is really interesting because I just got this card in the last reading for trust for your lesson. So the lesson of trust, how it plays into all of this. What is it? What's coming to mind is how with this is how you trusted yourself to change your lifestyle to accommodate your new dream. And then having a moment here where you didn't trust yourself. And it's almost like I want to say that maybe you have issues with trust in this life because of this, because you doubted yourself on this day, even though you got this in exchange. So, yeah, basically just trust yourself, like learn to trust yourself more, put trust in yourself, put trust in your dreams, put trust in put trust in yourself to know your dreams, basically. That's what I'm getting from this, is put trust in yourself to know what you really want to go after. Trust that feeling, because the feeling won't let you down. If that's the thing that you are excited about, you can trust yourself to know that feeling of excitement that will lead you to the right path. All right? So there you go. I hope you enjoyed your past life.